Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Today's April 19th, 2026. And I'm here with another reading for you guys. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also the follow button so that you can get notified of the next video, okay? Um, Also, I always like to say a quick disclaimer in the beginning, which is you have your own inner compass, okay? If my message resonates with you, fantastic. If it adds to that compass, fantastic. If it doesn't, throw it back into the universe, okay? This message I usually ask for the collective, for all of us, and that is the message that I got today. So I will start with the first card that I pulled, which is the Lenormand card. And I got the Stork card, which is a card of seasons, new seasons, okay? And the message that I got today was we are entering a new season. And when I say entering a new season, you might say, gosh, it sure doesn't look like it. I know. But we have to remember before the spring comes, winter is the one that is there. And winter can be brutal sometimes, right? Depending on where you live. And so what Spirit showed me is we are entering a new paradigm. We're entering a new paradigm where things are moving rather quickly, and they're moving. When I say moving, I'm not talking about time. I'm talking about events. Okay, I'm talking about how we see things, how we perceive things, how we know things. Like the age of Aquarius is the age of knowing. So it's not the age of believing. It's not the age of hoping. It's the age of is, right? This is. So what's happening to us is as these things are starting to move, our eyes are opening to things. So it doesn't take us long to understand something, to know something, to feel something, to see something. So that's the time we're living. So in this new world, I like to call it a new world, and it's not, and I'm not referring to new world order, although that is what they're trying to do. But they're not going to be successful because it has to end. Like this is actually ending. So the season that we're living right now is changing. And it's changing into a new world, into a new paradigm, into a place where we get to live freely. We get to be full self-expressed, where we get to love one another, okay? Where we can live with our differences, okay? That is the new world that is actually starting, although it doesn't look like it, okay, at this very moment. So it's interesting because the card that I pulled right after was the Five of Wands, which is the Lord of Strife. It's Lord of Confusion, fights, disagreements. What we're seeing right now, wars, right? Is trying to fight so that this right here doesn't happen, okay? But they can fight all they want because the reality is it's going to happen, okay? So what you're seeing right now, all the strife that's going on, not just in the world, but if you notice the strife within family, the strife within yourself, like, because it's saying who we are is no longer sustainable for the new world. It's not going to be sustainable for the new world. So everything must fall off, including that which is inside of us, okay? And I pulled the card of Chiron. Chiron has to do with pain, with our, when we come into this world in astrology, Chiron represents the parts of us that constitutes a struggle, the pain and the suffering, right? But it's also where we find our healing, okay? It's also where we find our healing. And so if you're familiar with Christianity, there's a scripture where the people of Israel in the Bible, the Hebrews actually, where they were bit by a snake. And Moses went to God, is like, look, these people are dying because they were bit by these snakes, because they were complaining, they were mad, they were just, and I'm paraphrasing, okay, guys. And so the scripture says that God told him to so funny because it looked like a serpent, right? So God told him to build the serpent, build a bronze, and anybody who looked at the serpent would get healed. So the very thing that caused pain and suffering is the very thing sometimes we need to look at in order to find our healing. And so Chiron is one of those placements in our astral chart, a natal chart, that represents both the pain and the healing at the same time. So although we are going through this pain that we're going through, the healing is also within that as well. So that's where we find our healing. Where in the pain can we find our healing? Because the pain, when we have pain, is telling us, okay, we need to look at the pain so we can find the healing, not to die of the pain, but to find the healing through the pain, okay? Because, and we're able to do that, okay? Because fire and passion runs through our veins. That is the message from the Yoruba cards, okay? Fire and passion runs through our veins. So we're going to do this. We're going to make it. What's the song? We're going to make it. We're going to make it. We going to make it. All right? So seasons. This is the season that things are falling apart. Things are not just falling apart on the outside, but also within us as a collective, where we find our pains, where we find our healing, okay? Our shit on placements. And we can do this. We're here for a reason. We came for this very moment. We came for this very moment, for this very time in history, okay? So that is the message. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. And I will end with this, okay? Know that you're not from here. We're not from here. Our homes are not from here. And to know that, to have that certainty, is to live in peace despite of what is going on out here, okay? Because we're going back home at some point. Our home with love, unconditional love lives. But we can live, but the goal of us, our existence here, is to bring the unconditional love here, is to bring home here, to bring heaven here, okay? That is the goal. All right, my loves. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe, hit the follow button, and I'll see you again. Bye.